I'm remaking this video because I got a date wrong, and I do have a migraine, but I care about you guys having correct information, so let's go. When you see stuff like researchers making a fungal skin for robots and using a Terminator model, that is because they do read science fiction and in fact have gotten their inspiration from it. And we can start with Fahrenheit. The mechanical hound slept, but did not sleep, lived, but did not live, in its gently humming, gently vibrating kennel, back in the dark corner of the firehouse. I'm honestly only surprised they didn't give it 8 legs, but let's go. Simon Lake is generally known as the father of submarines. He was inspired by 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That book was published in 1870. The first submarines came out in 1894. Now, some will argue that he did work on information that was already available. In fact, the first models, or at least first plans for submarines, came out in the 1600s. Jules Verne may have written science fiction, but he has inspired a lot of technology, including the helicopter. The first helicopters were inspired by Clipper of the Clouds. Now, some will say there have been technology, or at least plans or ideas for these kinds of things long before they came out, and that is completely normal. As we started working with nuclear reactors, people noted very quickly it wasn't safe. The idea of having a mechanical arm to handle things internal to the facility was inspired by Heinlein's work. In fact, they even named it Waldo. While we're at it, the idea of using nuclear energy rather than a tool of war was inspired by H.G. Wells, 1914, The World Set Free. The kinds of personalities that became scientists, they were interested in it from a very young age. They didn't just read it, they were inspired by it and wanted to figure out how to create it. That being said, I am a scientist who grew up watching zombie movies, and I work with viruses, and I think about how to engineer them to do a certain job, and I think about that little girl who sat there thinking, how can I make a zombie virus? I'm not going to. But this is exactly why art and media is so important. You never know the interconnected areas.